So the first thing you have to do is you have to select the longest carbon chain. That means the chain which has the highest number of carbons. So in this compound, let's see which one is the longest carbon chain. If we take this chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, only 4 carbons are there. And if you take this chain, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when naming the compound, if you take this chain, not this one or else this one, because this has the highest number of carbons. The second step is you have to know the root names. So if there is one compound, you use meth, and 2 eth, 3 prop, goes on. And for example, the simplest alkane is methane. Since it's an alkane, we add the suffix "ane" with the root. Okay. And even this one is alkane. So there are 2 carbons here. So we use eth. And since it's an alkane, ane. Now about the alkyl groups. Alkyl groups means basically if you remove one hydrogen from an alkane, it's a alkyl group. For example, this part is an alkyl group, and this one is an alkyl group. This one is an alkyl group. Now let's see how to number the alkyl group. First, you have to select the longest carbon chain in this. So let's see this one first of all. That has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carbons. So if you select this chain, it will have only 1, 2, 3, 4 carbons. So we can't select this chain, we should select this chain. So when numbering this chain, you have to make sure that the carbon which is attached to the alkyl group gets the lowest number. So first I'll number in this order: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here the carbon gets number 4. This carbon gets number 4 if I order from right to left. I'll try numbering from left: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here if I number from left to right, this carbon gets number 3. So this is the order that you should take. Okay, then you can eliminate this one. Okay, now naming the alkyl group. If there is one carbon in the alkyl group, just check out for the root name, that's meth. So since it's an alkyl group, the suffix will be "-il", methyl. So here it's number 3, 3 methyl. There are 6 carbons, so it's hexane. It's an alkane, so hexane. 3-methyl hexane. Okay, so between a number and a letter you should put a hyphen. And the next part is, let's consider this. We have to select the longest carbon chain. Here the longest carbon chain is here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is not the longest one. So let's see this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the longest one. So we have to give the lowest number to this carbon because alkyl group is attached to this. So it obtains 1, 2, 3 when we go from left side. 1, 2, 3, 4 when we number from right to left. So the correct order is from left to right because the lowest number is 3. So this way we number, and here also 3. Since there are 2 carbon atoms, so it's an alkyl group, ethyl, and there are the longest carbon chain. There are 6 carbon atoms in the backbone, so that becomes hex. It's an alkane, so ane. Consider a situation where there are more than one alkyl. So when naming this compound, select the longest carbon chain. So in this one, this is the longest carbon chain. So first number it. There are 2 ways to number, from starting from this carbon: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. or else we can start from this carbon 1 2 3 4 5 6. But consider about the side chains, the alkyl groups. This is an alkyl group, even this one's a alkyl group. So check which numbering will give the lowest number to the alkyl groups. So when you start this one, will give number 3 to this carbon attached to an ethyl group, and number 2 to the carbon attached to methyl group. So the numbering marked in red is the correct numbering order. Now we have two alkyl groups. This, since it has two carbons, this is called ethyl, and this has one carbon, so methyl. I didn't indicate the hydrogen just for ease. And now to write the name, first you have to write the names of the group according to the alphabetical order. So ethyl starts with E, methyl starts with M. So E comes before M in the alphabet. So what we have to do is first write ethyl. So ethyl is connected to the third carbon. So 3 ethyl. And then methyl is connected to the second carbon. So when joining a word and a letter, we put a hyphen. 2 methyl, and the carbon chain has 6 carbons, so hex, and it's an alkane, there are no double bonds. Now let's consider a situation the same alkyl group is formed. So here let's consider this molecule as example. First we have to find the longest carbon chain, that is this one. And now the numbering, when you number, you have to make sure that maximum number of branch chains will get the lowest number. So for example, if you number like this 1 2 3 4 5 6, this will obtain 5, and this will get 3, this and this will get 3. But when you number the other way around, from here 1 2 3 4 5 6, here this carbon attached to this methyl group gets number 2, and this carbon gets number 4. Okay, so here maximum number of branch chains gets the lowest number. So you have to select the order which is written in blue. Now let's start naming. This is one carbon, this side chain has one carbon, so methyl. This has two carbons, so ethyl, and this has one carbon, so methyl. So when numbering, do it according to the alphabetical order. This has E and these have M. So E comes before M, so 4 ethyl. Now the important part comes into play. Here two methyl groups. So first write the number, lowest one first, 2 comma, and the first methyl group is attached to the fourth carbon, so 4. Since there are two methyl groups, we add a prefix as di, methyl. So suppose if there are 3 methyl groups, it's tri, or if there are 4, it's tetra. It goes on. Dimethyl, 6 carbons are there in the main chain, so it's hex, and it's an alkane. It doesn't consist of double or triple bonds. Xn. Another important thing to consider is you have to remember that in IUPAC nomenclature, a number and a word is separated by a hyphen, and two numbers are separated by a comma, and the words are not separated. It's written continuously, there is not even a space. The next important thing we have to consider is we have to make sure that all the double bonds and triple bonds are included in the carbon chain we select. So considering this example, this is the longest chain, but if we select this, we'll miss this double bond. So we can't select this chain. We have to select this chain so that the double bonds, triple bonds are included in the chain. Next, naming alkenes and alkynes. Let's do this example. So first step is numbering. When numbering, make sure that you give the lowest number to the carbon which has the double bond. So if we number from this way, this won't get the lowest number. So we give this one, we number this way from right to left. 1, 2, 3, 4. And since there are four carbons and there are no other substituent groups, so but, and the double bond is in the first carbon, first and second, but we take the lowest one, but 1, and it's an alkene, so ene. There is another way to write this, 1 butene. Let's consider this example. Select the longest carbon chain. This one's the longest carbon chain. So these are substituent groups, and number it in a way that the most of the groups as well as the double bond gets the lowest number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next step is, this is methyl group, even this is methyl group. So we first write the substituent groups, that is 3, 5. There are two methyl groups, so dimethyl, and this main chain has 6 carbons, so we write hex, and the second carbon has the second, in between second and third carbon there is a double bond. We write the lowest number 2 in, or else there is another way to write this, 3, 5 dimethyl 2 hexene. Now naming an alkyne. First start numbering. You have to number such that this triple bond gets the lowest number. 3, 4, 5, 6. If we number from this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The triple bond gets the same number. So next thing you have to consider is the substituent group. If this gets the same number, you should make sure that the substituent group gets the lowest number. So the order written in red has the lowest number to the carbon attached to substituent group. So the order written in red is the correct one. Next, naming. This is the only substituent group present. So it's attached to the second carbon, so 2-methyl, and there are 6 carbons, so hex, the main chain, 6 carbons, and there is a triple bond in the third one, between the third and fourth. The lowest one is third, 3. It's an alkyne, so ine. Now consider a situation when there are more than one double or triple bond. So in this example, start numbering so that the double bonds get the lowest number. 7, 8. Try numbering from the other way around. 8. We have 2, 4,
and 6. This way 2, 4 and 6. So it doesn't matter which way you number because we get the same number for both ways. So now what we got to do is there are 8 carbons in the main chain. So it's oct, and double bonds are present in the second one, second carbon, fourth carbon and the sixth carbon. So 2, 4, 6. Since the double bond is present at 3 places, try, it's an alkene, so ene. That's it. Previously discussed examples were related to only hydrocarbons, but now let's consider about the organic compounds which consist of oxygen, nitrogen and halogens. And the given list is taken from the resource book, and it's the priority order of the functional groups. Like for example, I'll tell if an organic compound consists of a carboxylic group and a alcohol group. In naming, this is present highest in the priority list, and alcohol is present below the carboxylic group in the priority list. So when naming, the suffix is used for this, and for the alcohol group, prefix is used. Okay, that's why we need a priority list. And these four, they don't have a prefix because they usually act as the major functional groups. The last ones, the halo groups and the nitro groups, they don't have a suffix because they don't act as a major one. They have only prefix. Let's consider a simple example with bromo group. First, we have to number so that we include the functional groups as well. You have to select this is the longest chain, and the substituent group should get the lowest number. So I'll start numbering from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So first identify the groups. This is bromo and it's attached to the second carbon, so 2 bromo. And this one is an ethyl group that's attached to the third carbon, so 3 ethyl. So when writing, you have to remember that you have to write it in the alphabetical order. So B comes before E, the alphabet. So 2 bromo, 3 ethyl, and there are 5 carbons in the main chain. So pen, pen. So when there are only halo groups or alkyl groups, the suffix depends upon the saturation. So if there are no double or triple bonds, it's alkane. If there is a double bond or triple bond, it's ene or ine.